the motherfucking Eagle Double G.
Snoop Dogg.
All right, another episode of Keeping It Real with Gary and Neil. Welcome from Drummer Boy Campground here in beautiful Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How you doing today?
Good. Beautiful Saturday morning, waiting for the rain to roll in. But
again,
whatever. So anyway, Keeping It Real with Gary and Neil. We're talking about all things camping, and we may get in the weeds here and there about some other shit. You can email us right here at keepingitreal.gary.neil@gmail for questions, topics for next week, whatever. Before we roll, I really think we need to do a shout out. This applause, please. There's a guy here that's, without him, we wouldn't be doing this.
No.
He's our sound engineer. He's our everything. Everybody knows him around the campground. He helps everybody do whatever. So, shout out to our boy, Engineer Wesley. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you for everything you do for us.
And the motorboat, nice.
Yeah.
Give himself a motorboat. I didn't want to see that.
Shot of the week, Neil. This is you, buddy.
We got the shot of the week. Like I was saying on our promo, every week we go to, I'll give a quick explanation of happy hour here at the campground. Every Friday night, the seasonal campers set up a happy hour at a different site throughout the campground, and they will have something to eat and generally something to drink. And doesn't matter. Every time they'll make their own drinks, somebody's always walking around with a bottle of something.
Yep.
So that's our shot of the week. Everybody's carrying one, but we're going to do one here. This week's shot is a Washington apple with Crown apple pucker.
I put a tad ginger ale in it.
Tad of ginger ale.
What do we got? Crown Royal,
Apple pucker, ginger
ale, and cranberry juice. Splash cranberry juice.
Splash.
And that's called a Washington Apple. One of my favorite shots and drinks, by the way. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that's good. A little early for me. I may be sleeping by 4 o'clock, though, dear Neil.
That's 4 o'clock p.m., just so you know.
4 o'clock p.m., that's correct. So do we want to go to questions? Well, it's Kentucky Derby week. We got something big going up here.
Yeah.
We're doing a dinner or a lunch, and we'll be betting on the horses, which is fun. We did it last year. I didn't win, but it was a lot of fun.
And anybody from law enforcement, we're not really betting.
Yeah, no. We're betting chips. So anyway, we do encourage questions and topics and things to talk about. So we got a question from Santo F, who is actually not a camper here. That's actually our stepson, Cindy's stepson. He's up in Buffalo, New York. He asked, what's your take on choosing the right glamping spot for those that don't have a setup? I'm going to give you my opinion on what I'm looking for, and then we're going to listen, see what Neil's looking for. Me, when Cindy and I looked for a spot, we wanted something a little bit secluded. That was a biggie.
Yeah.
Covered in trees around the perimeter, so we weren't in so much a fishbowl, where everybody can drive by and see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the priority for me and my wife. So I don't know what you got a beautiful spot down there.
I appreciate that. And I meant to take a picture of it and brain farted, so don't have that. But if you're familiar with Gettysburg, there are a lot of rocks, just like everywhere around here, large rocks. And our site is no different. We got 2 rather large rocks and a couple small ones. And we wanted seclusion also. But I say that, and we're right on the main intersection.
But you got it around the side and the back. You really can't see you. But you talk rocks. Them rocks sometimes are just in a bad spot.
We get a little bit of rain. They get slippery. We've had 2 people bite it.
We've had many people bite it, and I'm not mentioning names yet, but we've had people bite it. Anyway, that's what I'm looking for. And
that's pretty much the same thing. And you want one that suits your purpose. What are you doing with it? Do you have kids? Do you need more open space? We didn't necessarily need open space. We didn't mind the rocks, and we thought they were cool as part of our site.
Yeah.
We were able to set up little areas around the rocks, like right in the middle of rocks, we put our fire pit. It's worked out great. And
Yeah, you got a grand spot.
so it's nice. We're close to a pool too. It depends on where you want to go. You don't want to, if you got friends, you might choose where they are. If you want to be close to the kids' pool in the back, maybe you get one back there.
I think it's down to personal preference, obviously. You know, I see some of these spots that are wide open. I mean, you can see everything they're doing. That's just not for me. I like the seclusion. I also like different areas. Like you got your little area across the creek, if you will, or whatever we're calling it. We got our little spot in the back. You know, I like options. I like different areas, whatever. So
Yeah, you have a party, a couple of people want to fall off and then go hang out in the back.
fall off, literally.
Yeah, off the rocks. That happens.
We've had that. No question, no names mentioned, but we've seen some fallout. So
The
all right.
biggest thing is if you get an opportunity to go out and check out the sites, look at them well, try and picture your camper, and tape. I took a tape measure. We measured. Are we going to be able to fit a canopy here?
I didn't do any of that.
Well, yours is you got a little more. Ours, well, with the rocks and we got trees and stuff behind us, we did squeeze in. I cleaned up a little area to put our canopy.
Our
so.
first camper was a small 26-footer. We were over at 221A, and it was kind of a small camper. And so I didn't even measure when we bought the 36 or whatever the hell it is. We kind of rolled the dice on that, and we ordered it from a wholesale place in Cincinnati, Cleveland, Ohio. They just delivered it, and you know, we again, fingers were crossed it would work. So anyway, again, I think it's personal preference.
Yeah.
So all right. So also we have a question from Ed M. Rising rates, decreasing amenities. Why can we not hang things in the trees with rope or bungee cords? No harm to trees. First of all, I'm going to say this is actually a question that should be addressed to the front office, not to us, because
Agreed.
we really can't answer that.
And we can give our opinions, but you know what they say about opinions.
I know what they say. My opinion is, I'm very happy here, first of all, Drummond Boy. All right, rising rates, cost of living, it's getting expensive here. But I've always said that camping is not a poor man's game.
No, and they're not outpacing
The annual cost of living or
Yeah,
anybody else.
yeah.
I mean, I think they're in line. I mean, last year our rates went up, I think, here just about $200.
Yeah.
But go ahead and find a place in Ocean City for 7 months, 7 days a week if you want to camp, 24 hours a day, and they store your camper for you.
Actually, the Treasure Island campground down there, I have friends that stay there. They're very compatible to what we pay here. They're north of Ocean City. They're actually, I think they're in Delaware. I don't think it's quite Maryland, but you're still down at the ocean.
My deal is we're here because we're an hour ride. I don't want to mess with the bridge every time and whatever. But
That's our reasoning also.
I agree. I think they're in line with everybody else. Matter of fact, other people have gone and checked out other campsites, found out they didn't have the amenities. My brother's in Ocean City, New Jersey. They're not allowed to have gazebos, sheds, or golf carts, which is big for me. I like having a golf cart.
Well, that would depend on how big their whole campground is.
Exactly.
Drummer Boy here's, I think I heard 96 acres when I talked last year.
See, I wouldn't even know that. So.
It was odd that I found that out from Ron, who works up in the front office. He goes, it's 96 acres here. I'm like, I always wondered.
That's a lot of property.
It
really.
is.
And they have room to grow if they wanted to. So
You could walk it, but you'd be in shape, but it'd take you a while to get everywhere.
yeah. So again, decreasing amenities, rising rates. They've I don't know if they fixed the broken pipe at the pool, but I know they filled in the hot tub.
Right.
Finally.
That hasn't been used for nothing but mosquito larvae the last couple years.
I don't know about you. When it's 88 degrees out, I don't want to sit in a hot tub. I just don't. But that's not me. But I don't take baths either. So
Yeah.
So
then-
again, rising rates, decreasing amenities. You got to address the front office with that. I don't want to hit on that too bad.
Yeah.
The tree issue, that's a big thing. But see, what you folks got to remember, every year there's something they focus on here. Last year it was extension cords. The year before that it was lighting in sheds. The year before that it was refrigerators.
Refrigerators, yep.
So, you guys don't panic. Just let it be. It'll go away. This year it's the trees. I get it, kind of. I don't know.
When we first got here, I took a cable, wrapped it around the tree, and hooked it to itself. So it wasn't attached to the tree. It was just around the tree. And I was going to replace mine this year anyhow, because, these outdoor lights, the bulbs were half full of water, had algae growing in them.
Yeah.
It was kind of comical.
I got that.
So we were going to replace them anyhow. So when I cut mine down, in the first 3 years we were here, the tree started to grow around that wire, which I guess could alter the tree.
Well, you know what? I'd love to hear from an actual arborist. And I'm not talking a weekender that thinks he knows about trees. I'd love to hear from a real certified arborist and can it damage trees? But I assume it can hurt trees.
It couldn't help.
It couldn't help. So anyway, that's the deal. They want lights out, anything hanging from trees. I mean, we got a bird feeder hanging from a branch. I don't see where that would hurt.
I don't think they're going to bust your chops on that.
I hope not, but I'm going to leave it up there. Again, what I said last week, it's easier to get forgiveness than ask permission. So that's what we got there. So again, Ed, thank you for the question. We appreciate it. But again, I think this is something you need to address to the office from there. So,
and about the amenities, I don't know, not many people know, a corporate company bought Drummer Boy,
Right.
What, 2 years ago? I think
2 or 3, maybe.
I think our first year we were still.
Have you been here 2 years?
This is our
3
4th year.
Okay.
So, this is how I feel what the corporate's doing. They came in here. They're going to see what this place does, how much money they can make before they start spending money in here to fix stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I mean, if they're losing money, why are you going to spend money? You got to do it one way or the other. You either got to spend a lot of money and make this the place to be,
Yes.
or it's.
Well, I personally do think it's the place to be up in this area. Anyway,
I don't disagree. I think that's why we're all here.
But nobody really knows what it costs to run this place. You got to think of annual salaries, electric, water bill. We don't pay water or sewage here, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then they got, I guess, rent or mortgage or whatever.
Well, I would hope. Well, the corporate may have a loan out when they bought the place. Who knows? It's Thousand Trails. I'm sure they own a lot of places. They probably had enough cash to buy it outright. But the original owners owned it up to the point.
Yeah, it was mom and pop, I believe.
Yeah.
We got here just as they went from the mom and pop over to the corporate. It just happened. So we didn't get to experience the mom and pop. I don't know what it's like.
So it was a different corporation that owned it when we got here.
Really? So Thousand Trails didn't own it?
I don't think so. Because if you remember, they just showed up at that front office in the store like 2 years ago.
I don't remember. The last 6.5 years for me is a blur. I got to tell you, literally a blur. So anyway, questions, answers. You may not like our answers, but...
And they don't have to be serious questions. If you got them serious, that's cool. If nothing else.
Yeah.
I wear boxers. He wear tighty whities in case you're...
No, I do not. I wear boxer briefs, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, well, it is.
Just choke the twins out.
Well, whatever. When you get this old, it doesn't matter. But again, questions,
He's trying to
comments.
press the wrinkles out of his balls. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, Wesley, you want to see what 65-year-old balls look like?
No, I'm good.
All right, Wesley's good.
On that.
You know,
look like somebody sucked on a prune and dropped it on the floor of a stair.
Oh, Neil,
hair
I'd go
salon.
somewhere with this right now. I'm always asking Wesley. For those that don't know, Wesley is my son, Engineer Wesley. He's my son. I love him. Used to be an asshole, but he's a great guy now. I'm always
Well,
asking.
he upgraded to dickhead.
He did. He's
Okay.
dickhead now. I'm always asking around the house, hey, you want to see what 65-year-old balls look like? But he does.
Tell him, hold on, I'll pull my sock down.
What I find amazing, though, a woman's boobs with age droop. But why isn't my ding-a-ling getting longer?
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
Because the skin from your dingling stretches down with your balls. Because right now I can play hacky sack with mine.
All right, we're going to trust Neil on that. Anyway, questions, again, send them to our email, keepingitreal.gary.neil@gmail.com.
What's our YouTube? Do you have the YouTube site up there?
No, you know what? And it's funny you brought that up.
Ding, ding, ding,
It's
ding.
funny you brought that up because I wanted to do a graphic for that, but I didn't get around to it last night. I got a little toasted, which those of you know me, I don't usually drink, but I was pretty fucked up. However, with that being said, you could search us on YouTube at Keeping It Real with Gary and Neil, and it'll pop up. Subscribe, like us. We need all that to keep it going. Again, we want to thank our buddies at Crown Royal because I personally am a Crown Royal drinker.
Yeah, my go-to around the campground is Apple Crown and ginger ale. If I'm not drinking my Surfsides.
And Wesley turned me on to this Two Turn tea. I love it. It's not sweet. It's very good. This is my number one, and then after dinner I switch to the Crown Royal and ginger ale. I don't even put anything else in it. So that's that with that. So what else we got going on? Sneak peek.
If you haven't noticed yet, and this is our great coordination, everything's keeping. I ordered shirts and put a G on it like a dumbass. Keeping it real. So if you haven't noticed, the merch, the shirts.
The merch.
Wait,
Do we need to talk about that last night?
Gotta show the back.
That's
Can you see the
beautiful.
back, all right?
Now, personally, I would have put our email address or something on there, but we understand.
Well, they'll get enough of that from you here.
So do we need to talk about merch? Wesley, I guess, got in an argument with his mother about merch last night. But you know what? Let's talk about, we got a segment called Sneak Peek from last week. And we really don't have anything great yet. Usually it's about our wives falling down or somebody
Now,
doing
Gary-
something stupid.
Gary swears that it's always women that fall down drunk on the weekends
Neil,
up here.
have you ever seen a guy face plant here? No.
Wesley's saying yes. Who?
Who?
Rick.
Oh, Rick. We'll talk about Rick. But I also want to talk. So we do a sneak peek from last week, but nothing really has happened. So we're talking a couple years ago. Rick, our buddy Rick, we love Rick. He's gone. One
From the campsite.
from the campsite.
Gone.
That's correct. He.
He's not pushing up daisies.
That son of a gun showed up here at 2:00 in the morning. He started a club here that me and Cindy and most of us are keep going called the 234 Club. That means if you're up at 2:34 a.m., you're now part of the club. He showed up wrecked and he fell down. And I'm going to tell you a story real quick. He fell down and hit his head on a rock. Third time. He had blood pouring out of his head. So now I got my wife who's drunk. He fell down and rolled under my camper. So I'm trying to drag him out from underneath the camper.
Blood gushing from the head.
Blood gushing. I went and grabbed some gauze from our medicine cabinet to put on his head. So I got that on here. I'm trying to hold him and my wife, who's just wasted, to be honest with you. So all I did was, I didn't have anything to keep the gauze on, so I took painter's tape and just wrapped it around his freaking head, and we sent him home that way. Actually, I think I drove him home that night. And we didn't hear from him the next day. I was kind of worried. I was calling him religiously. He wouldn't answer his phone. Finally, we heard from his wife, who said he's fine. He didn't remember a whole lot. Had a little bit of scab and a bump on his head the next day. So
He didn't remember because of the bump or because of the alcohol.
I think a little bit of both. So, but I want to bring this up. Sneak peek from last week. This didn't happen last week. This happened 2 weeks ago. Can we talk about the person that wanted to four-wheel with their golf cart over there by your campsite?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't necessarily they were trying to four-wheel. A little bit of a gripe here. There's a I guess you call it a wash basin on the other side of the road from our site where the rain goes through, and it gets filled with leaves. And the campground doesn't do a very good job of cleaning it out. I'm just going to say it. So we're over there at 11 o'clock.
There's a shocker.
Yeah, 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and it's, torrentially downpouring. And this couple, Mike and Lois, decide they're going to leave.
Oh, you're name dropping too, buddy.
Hell yeah, I'll throw them under the bus.
You're really a bus driver.
Otherwise known as Bambi. I'll just go ahead and say that too.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
So they're parked across from the ditch, and they go to turn around, and it's so full of water and leaves that they thought it was actual ground. And they turn and they 2 feet down in this swamp of leaves and water. I hear, what the fuck? I hear them out there cussing, and I pop my head out of the canopy, and our friend Greg runs out there, and Greg and Mike are in front of the golf cart, up to their knees in water, pushing it backwards. Lois is on there gunning it. Pops up out of the ditch and stops. And Mike's going, keep going backwards. I ain't fucking going backwards. I'm going forward out of here. He goes, no, you're not. She's like, get in the cart. He's like, I ain't getting in the cart. So they get out of the way. She nails it, goes back through the ditch, hits the boulders on the other side, comes launching out of this ditch, got all 4 wheels off the ground.
Why did we not get this on video? Oh, man.
I wasn't thinking because I was probably pissing myself at that point.
Oh, my God. So hysterical.
It was like the funniest thing I've seen in a while. And she got out, was sitting on the other side of the ditch. I told you I was getting out. Get in the goddamn cart. Let's go.
See, the funny thing is, Neil, I could see Lois, but Mike's kind of a chill guy. I just would have loved to have been there. That was the one night that, I don't know, Cindy and I were just not there. But,
yeah.
Oh, I would have loved to see that. So, anyway, sneak peeks from last week. Neil and I were always watching y'all. So,
yes, if you see us with our phones out, beware, because...
Yeah.
We didn't do. We should have brought our phones out at happy hour last night. Because if we're going to do this on Saturday, and it might not be all last week, it might be happy hour on Fridays.
Which, by the way, happy hour last night was wonderful. Cinco de Mayo. I think it was at Jess and Darren's. I don't know the site number.
I don't either.
But it was absolutely a wonderful happy hour. I had a great time. Tacos and some specialty drinks and whatever.
I forgot my costume. I got a Jedi robe and a lightsaber because this weekend is May the 4th be with you.
Dun dun boom. What do you got, Engineer Wesley? Frickin' nothing. Wesley's over there, toking up, sleeping on us. I mean, what the hell? What do we pay him for?
Why?
You're listening to the same thing we are. You got to anticipate.
Are we paying him? Maybe we're overpaying him. I mean, what the F, Wesley? Come on.
You're getting half what we paid you last week.
There's a laughter. Wesley's got the soundboard, and he's got full control, but he's over there. All right, that's better than nothing.
Works.
I mean, what the hell? We got all this equipment, and we pay him big money, and here he is frickin'...
This super high-tech equipment we have here.
It is high-tech, let me tell you something. So anyhow, sneak peek last week. You see me, Neil, Wesley, somebody out with our camera out, you could make it on to next week.
And we screwed up last Saturday night either, not getting videos at Gary's karaoke.
Karaoke. Karaoke with karaoke is always a great time. That's usually every Saturday, but this weekend, there's no karaoke.
They actually have a band this weekend. It's 5.5 Men.
Good band.
They're a good band.
5.5 Men. Unfortunately, they'll probably be in Lincoln Hall.
They already announced they are.
Yeah.
With the storms coming.
I hate that. You know, Lincoln Hall makes me feel like I'm an old age home with little metal chairs and, you know. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff Frank. Hey, go get the popsicles. It's gone.
Exactly.
It's got the pudding cups.
Is what it is. So, but anyway, come down to the band tonight. It's a great band, 5.5 Men. They've been here a couple times now. We love them.
They're 1 or 2 times a year, every year.
Yeah.
Early and late, I think.
Very good. It's like classic rock and roll, even into the 90s. So,
well, hopefully they put some sound cushioning foam or something in Lincoln Hall, because it is an echo chamber. So the sound guys probably sit there and pull their hair out.
Yeah. So, Kentucky Derby this weekend. It's a biggie. We've done this last year. We do a Kentucky Derby party here.
I should have brought my hat, but I'm going to hold it to the party.
We bet on the horses. What I found interesting, I didn't know this. First of all, it's a lot of fun. What's the country singer, Wesley or Neil, that passed away last year?
Toby Keith.
Toby Keith actually owns a horse. Well, somebody in his family, I guess, own a horse.
That's racing.
That's racing this weekend in the Kentucky Derby. So I kind of hope I get that horse. But we do a kind of a pool. You don't really know what number you're getting.
Right. You got the gate number. You reach in a bag, pull out your gate number.
Yeah.
Pay
So,
$10. Winner takes all. Whatever it is.
Wes, are you giving us a wrap? Is that what you're telling us?
No, I'm saying you got 15 more minutes.
15 more minutes. I don't know if we got enough content to go 15 more minutes. Anyway,
We're trying to run a 30-minute podcast.
we're trying.
And the more questions we get, he wants to do 40. Why 40? Is that usual?
Yeah.
What do I look like?
4 is my lucky number.
Like we give a shit.
Yeah, like your foreskin.
But you know what? I also need to comment the support we got last week. In 2 days, we got over 1,000 likes on Facebook just for our promo. That was just a promo. So now, again, this is our first podcast. We're going to be on YouTube. We want likes. Please subscribe. Pardon me?
Comment. Like,
Comment. We need all of that.
we don't have the picture for that yet, but it's Keeping It Real with Gary and Neil on YouTube. Just look up Keeping It Real with Gary and Neil.
We'll get a
You'll find
graphic
it.
for that. But we're really doing this for the fun. We're not looking for anything else out of it. We're trying to keep the positive vibe going at Drummer Boy. But this was actually Neil and Wesley's idea last year during a karaoke episode, I believe. And I kind of just took it and ran with it. And then, of course, Neil jumped on and Wesley's in there. And
He's hanging on by his fingernails.
Jesus Christ. I don't know what I'm going to do with this boy. We need to find him a wife.
I'll say something, but his mother's over there.
He's a handsome boy. He's got a great job. Makes good money.
That is not really a good picture, though.
Now, come on. That's a great picture of Wesley. We need...
He looks like a fucking retard from Duck Dynasty.
Hey, fuck you.
Well, you know what's funny? His mother...
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that
Oh,
word.
you're good. His mother wants to...
He's Uncle's size boy that they never knew they had.
His mother wants to buy him a bride from Russia or Philippines or whatever and get him married off. This boy's, what, 48 years old and he's still single. I mean, holy shit. Come on now.
He's going to be the next version of 40-year virgin. Yeah, make it about
well,
him.
you know what? He's 32 Wesley, 31. 32. And he still lives with us, which is fine because I like having him around. He's my bud now. If I only get him to cut the grass, he gets
Now
it.
he'll smoke it.
He does. Yes, he's got no problem
He'll bag
smoking.
it and smoke it.
He smokes it, but we can't get him to cut it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if he's Uncle Si's kid, would that make him cousin Bi?
Uncle who?
Uncle Si.
Who the hell is that?
Come on,
Uncle from Duck Dynasty.
Well, I've never watched that.
You've
show.
never watched? Oh,
No. We don't watch that. So
You would love Uncle Si. You got
you
your
wanna tell us
Tupperware
about
cup with
Uncle
iced tea?
Si?
No, people know. They'll know. You're the only one that doesn't know.
But I've never watched South Park or any of that other stupid shit either. But Wesley, so again, we're beating Wesley up, but we love Wesley. He's a good guy.
Let's see what you give us more topics. We won't abuse our sound guy.
Yeah, we need
Our engineer, sorry.
questions, comments. You could even next week we'll
It
post.
doesn't have to be camping. It could be
No.
anything.
It could be any. I don't like getting in the weeds.
We already told him boxers and what do you wear?
Tidy white.
I do not wear tidy whities. I wear boxer briefs.
Yeah.
So
I can't wear boxer briefs because I have thighs. Next thing.
your thighs and I heard a big head.
This one.
This. So anyhow, we're gonna wrap it. I think.
Yeah. Call it quits for a week.
Call it quits. We'll see you next week again.
We will have little snippets from the party.
We're gonna try.
We're going to take our cameras out, get some little snippets from the
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby party,
Yep.
and some people dressed in hats and crap like that. So
So again, keeping it real. .gary.neil@gmail.com. Send your questions, comments, topic suggestions.
find us on YouTube at Keeping It Real with Gary and Neil. Like it, comment.
Wesley, you got anything?
Nope, that's it.
All right,
All right.
let's say good night. Good night.
Good
See you
night.
next week.